Hey everybody, as promised, I am recording this review from the road, and I've been thinking about this movie for a while, like I'd say the last couple weeks, and just decided to go back and review it. This movie is called The Last Samurai. It came out in 2003. It was actually like a pretty huge movie. It made almost $500 million and was, I think, like one of the top four or five or six most financially successful movies of that year. And I remember seeing it at the time and saying, "Man, this is a really really great movie." It kind of has like peak Tom Cruise. He's in, I guess, probably at that point maybe his 40s, and it's essentially kind of like Dances with Wolves. You have him playing Nathan Algren, who is kind of this piece of crap, beat up Union soldier who is clearly like his best days are way, way, way behind him. He was partially responsible for helping murder a bunch of innocent Indians at Little Bighorn. He hates his boss as a result of that. His boss is superior officer. He hates his guts because of what they were forced to do. And he is basically tasked with like training the Japanese military to repel the samurai. Ken Watanabe plays essentially like the last living samurai. He's not the only one. He's got his group of guys that follow and support him and all their families and their village. And he's like the last holdout who wants to keep traditional Japanese customs, doesn't want them to just like whole cloth dive in and embrace like Western lifestyle, and clearly like loves his country and wants to serve the emperor to the best he can, and believes in like having this rebellion that ultimately he's not just looking out for himself or his men or their families, but that he's looking out for Japan as a whole and the emperor himself. It's like his act of service to rebel against what the emperor is trying to do. It's kind of a fascinating story. I think this is actually based, Matsumoto is based off a real character, like a real guy. And I really just think this is a good one. Tom Cruise like gets in with the village because he's captured, and he, like slowly but surely becomes, first of all, like comes to appreciate these people, and then comes to really truly like be friends with these people, and then comes to like love these people and want to learn their language, and to ingratiate himself as much as he can with them. What's interesting too is he becomes close with this widow and her son, despite the fact that he was the one who made her a widow in the first place. She knows this, her son knows this. And so seeing that dynamic like play out over a 2.5 hour movie is it's an interesting way of doing it, and it serves the story well. This movie is also like super duper duper violent. I don't remember it being there much like this much like blood, but blood is like all over the place. Dudes are getting limbs chopped off. Everybody gets impaled, shot, stabbed, run through at some point. I've completely forgot there's like this awesome sequence where a bunch of ninjas just show up and fight the samurai, and like a ton of them just get offed in like horrible and gruesome ways, and it's great. So yeah, I think this is really a tremendous film. It's got great performances. Tom Cruise is actually really good in this, and people like to kind of shit on this movie, and they're like, "Oh, Tom Cruise is this white guy. He's not the last samurai." And it's like, yeah, well, you clearly didn't even watch the friggin' movie, because he's not the last samurai. This isn't even. What's interesting too is it's the story is told through his eyes, and it's partially his story. You could call him the protagonist, but I think Matsumoto is as much a protagonist as Nathan Algren is. I think they both really have like awesome, strong character arcs. The action choreography is great. If there's one criticism I have of Edward Zwick, and Zwick, this is what kind of happens with his movies. This movie is pretty melodramatic. It pours on really heavy in the last act. I don't think it's necessarily a terrible thing, but it's very like emotional and not emotionally manipulative, but it just leans really heavy into reminding you that you're watching a very like dramatic and emotional moment unfold on screen as he ultimately like turns on the Japanese and wants to like fight alongside the samurai to preserve their way of life. And I really think this is a great film. I haven't seen it in 20 years, probably. If it came out in 2003, I probably watched it in like maybe 4, 5, and 6, but it probably has been 20 years, if not a little less, since I saw The Last Samurai. Like I said, it holds up. It's a great movie. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. And I will see you. I'm going to start saying noon because this is going to start airing at 12 p.m. Eastern time, which is where I live now. So it will air the same time it always has. I'm just going to be saying 12 p.m. Eastern instead of 9 a.m. Pacific. And that's all. I will see you next Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern.